Algebra 1, Lesson 50, Polynomial Equations, Ordered Pairs, and the Cartesian Coordinate System. Polynomial equations, we're not actually solving them yet, we're just kind of identifying them. And then what they want you to know about polynomial equations is what we've been talking about in the last couple lessons, which is degree. The camera's coming loose again. Okay, is degree. So the degree of a polynomial equation is always the highest exponent. So this one only has one variable, right? So the highest exponent is 4, so it's called a fourth degree polynomial equation. Now this one, the highest exponent's only 1, but this one's referred to as a third degree polynomial. And the reason why is because we have 1, 2, 3 variables. So the degree of a polynomial equation is dependent on the highest exponent and the number of different variables. Okay? And that's as they're being multiplied, right? So the concept here is I've got 1, 2, 3 unknowns that are all being multiplied by each other. So that counts as a third degree polynomial. Now, contrast that to this bottom one where I've got 2 different unknowns, but it's not a second degree polynomial. It's a first degree. The reason why, these 2 different unknowns are not being multiplied. So the reason why x4 is the fourth degree is because we have x times x times x times x. 4x is being multiplied. The reason why this is a third degree, I have 3 unknowns being multiplied. This is a first degree because I don't have any unknowns being multiplied. I do have unknowns, but they are not being multiplied. And the reason why that's an important distinction is because it really translates into graphing two-dimensional, three-dimensional objects, linear equations, nonlinear equations, conic sections, all kinds of crazy stuff that sounds like gibberish now, but it'll make a lot of sense later. So that's all we need to know for polynomial equations. We're just learning about the we're just learning about the degree of them, and then we're learning that we can plug values into them. And we'll go more over this when we start graphing lines. Now, let's talk about the Cartesian coordinate system. So the Cartesian coordinate system is what most people commonly refer to as a graph. Right? Now, it's called the Cartesian coordinate system because René Descartes invented it. He also did a lot of algebraic notation that we use too, like exponents and stuff like that. He invented a lot of good math notations still used today. He also invented this coordinate plane system. So his last name, Descartes, is where it gets the name Cartesian. Now, the Cartesian coordinate system is broken into 2 axes. This is the x-axis. The x-axis allows movement left and right, and the x-axis highly resembles a number line, because it is a number line. Then we have the y-axis. The y-axis allows movement up and down, and the y-axis is like a number line that's been arranged vertically as opposed to horizontally. So if we go up, we're going positive y. If we go right, we're going positive x. So this top right corner, everything is positive. If we go down, we're going negative y. So everything below the x-axis is a negative y value. However, if we go to the right side, we have negative y, but positive x, because x goes positive to the right. Now, everything on the right half of the y-axis, this is all positive x ground. This is all negative x ground, right? This right here, the left side of the y-axis. So we need to figure out these 4 quadrants and how they relate to our coordinate system. And then we have to learn how to graph ordered pairs. So we'll go ahead and mark these pairs down. Ordered pairs are always written in the format x comma y. So if I were to write 4 comma negative 2, what that means is I travel positive 4 on the x-axis, negative 2 on the y-axis. What that looks like is this. I've got a marker version of the coordinate system, right? And I'm a little out of focus. Let me fix this. Okay. So I have to go to positive 4 on the x-axis, negative 2 on the y-axis. The dark bold lines right here represent my zeros, and every time you mark a point, you always start at this point right here, the very center, called origin, which is the point of 0, 0. Now, a good thing to remember when you plot points is you need to run before you jump, or you run before you dive, which means you have to go left and right before you go up and down. So, if x is positive, I'm going to move to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. Now, y is negative 2, so I'm going to move down 1, 2 spaces. This point right here is the point 4, negative 2. Now let's do another point. Another point they give us is 0, -3. So let's graph that one. The x is 0, so am I running anywhere? No, I'm going to stay right there. And then -3 on the y means I go down 1, 2, 3 spaces. That is my point. And that coordinate is 0, -3. Let's try another one. Let's do -4x and +3y. So for -4x, I'll go over 1, 2, 3, 4 left. And then I will go up 1, 2, 3 for +y. So this point is -4, +3. That's how we graph on a coordinate system. It's not very difficult, and that's all that we need to do, or that's all we need to learn here. When it comes to doing your homework, you can use graph paper for these problems, but you cannot do all of your homework on graph paper. If you need to use graph paper, or you want to use graph paper for your homework, just go ahead and attach it as a separate page in the middle of your homework. Don't be doing all of your problems on graph paper. It's harder to check, takes longer to read. All right, that's all that I've got. If you have any questions, let me know on Moodle, and I will see you in class.